Nikola Tesla, perhaps one of the most beloved and, according to some, most wronged figures in history, had countless patents and numerous technologies to his name, ensuring his name would be etched into history forever. He was a brilliant inventor with grand dreams, many of which he brought to life. Yet, perhaps the most important dream, the one most precious to him, remained unrealized. If he had been able to realize this dream, we would truly be living in a completely different world today. We are talking about Nikola Tesla and his dream of wireless electricity. Of course, Tesla's unfinished story revolves around his vision of a network of towers spanning the globe, providing wireless and free electricity to the world, and beyond that, facilitating information exchange, in other words, the Internet. He envisioned and even began constructing these towers, starting with the Wardenclyffe Tower in 1901, which would transmit messages to ships at sea and even across oceans, proving his invention and demonstrating that electricity could be transmitted through the air. However, despite the completion of this tower, Tesla's funding was cut off, and the project was shelved, never to be realized or proven. But why, even today, with many people still pursuing Tesla's dream, do we not have wireless electricity? The explanation for this might be somewhat disappointing, but our task is to deal with realities, isn't it? As we mentioned earlier, the undeniable fact is that Tesla was ahead of his time. He was the inventor of induction motors, the visionary behind the concept of hydroelectric power plants, and, of course, the foremost name associated with alternating current and the most significant figure in radio communication. However, one of his most remarkable and somewhat cursed inventions is the Tesla coil. The Tesla coil, as we know it, is both highly significant and, in a sense, a cursed invention for Tesla. The possibilities that sprung to life in Tesla's mind with the operation of this truly extraordinary device excited him immensely and, to a certain extent, became somewhat of an obsession. And he was not entirely wrong in this regard, as the device was indeed like magic. To explain how it works briefly without delving too deeply into the technicalities, a Tesla coil takes in a high electric current and transforms it into high voltage, thus creating a changing magnetic field. What does a changing magnetic field produce? Electricity, of course, which can power anything nearby, like a light bulb, for example. So why doesn't everyone have a Tesla coil in their homes? Well, you could actually make one yourself with materials you can get from any hardware store. Some among us might have even tried it and could share their experiences. But why aren't we powering our homes with these coils? Because, for instance, to light up the bulbs in a room, you'd need an incredibly large Tesla coil. And in the presence of such a large coil, while the bulbs may light up, you wouldn't want to be in that room. Additionally, you'd need one for each room because the range of such a device is very short. The energy drops sixfold when you double the distance, and there's no solution to this. But not only for this coil specifically, why aren't we using wireless electricity to power our homes, factories, or vehicles? Let's discuss that. Electricity, and energy in general, moves locally and requires a specific medium to travel through. We've been very successful in solving this for centuries, mainly with cables. Despite inevitable losses due to heat in the cables, they remain the best way to transport energy from one place to another. Let's say we want to get rid of cables. Well, then you need to find another way. And there are two options for this. The first is to scatter energy. Yes, scatter it in all directions, hoping that some of this scattered energy will reach your device. This can be likened to how we normally fill our gas tanks by directly transferring fuel from the pump to the tank with a hose. But if we wanted to do it without a hose, we'd have to park next to a gas fountain and wait for our tank to fill up. It might eventually fill up, but you see the problem here. It's a huge waste of gas. This is the problem with wireless electricity based on this option. It's impossible to direct the scattered energy in one direction, right? Of course, it's possible, but then another problem arises. You can't really see electricity. Imagine someone walking through the directed energy, not a pleasant sight. So you need some kind of protection around the directed energy, which is essentially what we call a cable. So, haven't we made any progress in this regard? We have indeed. Wireless charging is a part of our lives now. Wireless chargers for phones, toothbrushes, and the like are quite common and convenient up to a point, usually a few centimeters. Unfortunately, the limitations of wireless charging are similar to those we mentioned with the Tesla coil. You still have to place your phone on the wireless charger, eliminating the need for a cable, but the charger itself is still plugged in. In essence, this is an example of close-range wireless energy transfer. Nikola Tesla's dream of global, free wireless electricity is still far from reality on a global scale. However, there are different variations of this technology, and numerous companies are working to extend its range. Some claim to convert sound waves into electricity, while others suggest that the waves used in 5G technology could be converted, allowing some devices to be powered wirelessly, albeit to a small extent. Some companies are trying to achieve wireless energy through waves, while others are using lasers. However, it should be noted that these alternatives are not exempt from the limitations we discussed throughout the video. Other alternatives, similar to wireless phone charging, focus on setting up charging stations in specific locations, even garages, for electric vehicles, allowing them to be charged wirelessly as soon as you park them. But perhaps the closest possibility to Tesla's dream could be technology based on quantum batteries. Though there are numerous problems to solve with this technology, there is a glimmer of hope. In conclusion, Tesla was undoubtedly a genius who transformed humanity and the world with his life. He conquered horizons that no one else could see with the resources he had at his disposal. However, his dream of wireless electricity was impossible as he envisioned it, and it remains so today. But who knows, maybe one day, with a completely different solution, albeit not exactly the same as his dream, this dream will come true. I hope we can witness that together. As always, until we meet again, thank you for being here, dear ones.